Good morning. My name is Demaria Cooper, and I'm the class president of the Smyrna High School class of 2021. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our graduation. Honored guests, parents, faculty, friends, and fellow classmates, on behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to welcome you to our Smyrna High School commencement ceremony. I'm honored to thank our Smyrna School District Board of Education for all of their support. Our school board members include Mrs. Catherine O'Connell, President of the Board of Education, Mrs. Vitra Evans-Gunter, Vice President of the Board of Education, Mrs. Christy Lloyd, Reverend Scott McClymont, and Mrs. Christine Malik. I am also honored to present the administrative team of the Smyrna School District. Mr. Patrick Williams, Superintendent, Mrs. Deborah Judy, Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Kelly Holt, Director of Curriculum, Mr. Jerry Gallagher, Director of Finance, Dr. Rachel Rudinoff, Director of Special Services, Mr. Roger Holt, Director of Operations, Mr. Scott Holmes, Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds, Ms. Kristen Cole, Supervisor of Child Nutrition, Mr. Ryan Buchanan, Supervisor of Instruction, Mr. David Morrison, Supervisor of Instruction, Mrs. Jessica Weller, Supervisor of Climate and Safety, Ms. Sharon Almondo, Supervisor of Transportation, Mr. George Sweeney, Supervisor of Technology, Ms. Jennifer Morris, Supervisor of Pupil Services, Dr. Marcia Mayhew, Supervisor of Special Programs, and Mr. Ed Stover, Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds. Our administrative team for Smyrna High School includes Mrs. Stacy Cook, Principal of Smyrna High School, Mr. John Campanelli, Associate Principal of Smyrna High School, Mr. Leon Clark, Associate Principal of Smyrna High School, Dr. LaTanya Pierce, Associate Principal of Smyrna High School, Mr. Clarence Davis, Associate Principal of Smyrna High School, and Mrs. Danielle Hampton Morton, Associate Principal of Smyrna High School. I would also like to acknowledge all of our faculty and staff members viewing our commencement. We would not have reached this point without your dedication and expertise. Thank you so much for all that you do. Again, I thank you for joining in on our commencement exercises. Now, I'd like to express gratitude towards the individuals who have helped make my academic career enjoyable and successful. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Palmer, Mrs. Hughes, and my fellow band and choir members for making Friday nights, homecoming, and the band trip the best moments of high school. You are my second family, and I wish you the best in your future competitions. To my drum major partner, Corey, good luck next year. Thank you to Mrs. McLean, Mrs. McDonald, and Ms. Kanicki for being the best English teachers I've ever had. I found my passion for composition and literature in your classrooms, and I cannot wait to continue those studies as an English major. Thank you so much for helping me with the college application process as well. Thank you to Elise Sampson, Asia Short, Hasana Parker, and the entire Black Student Union for giving me a place to share my experiences as a Black student at Smyrna High School, and for also allowing me to work with you in pursuing racial equity in our school district. And I saved the best for last, my parents. Thank you for all of your sacrifices and hard work to ensure that Lauren, Olivia, Simone, and I will live great, successful lives. I'm eager to represent my parents this fall at the University of Delaware as a first-generation college student. Without their support throughout high school, none of my accomplishments would have been possible. Now, class of 2021, let's have a conversation, an uncomfortable one because we need to. We all have witnessed the injustices that have occurred during the school year, and it would be remiss of me to not use this opportunity to address them. Unfortunately, racial injustice has been an ongoing issue for centuries. Painting the words "Black Lives Matter" on street, posting a black square only one day out of the year, or putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill will never end systemic racism. These performative actions will never result in meaningful progress. What we need is real, long-lasting change. Class of 2021, we are capable of taking this on. Despite spending half of our senior year on a computer, we stayed strong, resilient, and hopeful. These characteristics make us capable of creating a world where parents will not have to worry about their children making it home alive after they buy Skittles and Arizona tea. We are a class who have found that we are most successful when we come together, like winning the pep rally sophomore year and float competition last year. Let us come together to march and protest against any injustice we see. Attacks on voters' rights, police brutality, hate crimes against Asian communities, and children detained in cages. We can also educate ourselves and our families about the effects of racism and discrimination in healthcare, employment, education, legislation, and the environment. There seems to be a misconception that acts of racism are limited to derogatory words and violent actions. What people seem to overlook are microaggressions, profiling, gaslighting, colorism, and disregarding the mental health and well-being of people of color. Those all contribute to racist habits. As much as I would love to elaborate on these, we must start somewhere little. We can start by continuing to be the resilient class we are. We are a class that has risen above the many challenges of this year, and with the same mentality we have during our losses, we can overcome racial injustice in our communities. With that same eagle up mentality, we can solve the issues that affect our classmates and friends. Class of 2021, I leave you with this quote by Angela Davis, a black civil rights activist who said, "In a racist society, it is not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist." Class of 2021, congratulations, and I wish you the best of luck changing the world so that there may finally be liberty and justice for all.
Hello, Smyrna High School. I would like to start by thanking all the people who have led me through these last few years. I want to acknowledge all the dedicated staff, administrators, coaches, and advisors who have guided myself and all of my peers to our graduation day. I would also like to thank all of my fellow students here at Smyrna High School. Whether we are past or current friends, or even strangers, you have all been a vital part of my life to this point, and I am beyond proud of all of you. I of course have to send my love to all of my siblings and family members, and especially my two guardian angels. First, my angel from above, my dad. The man who introduced me to my love of sports, the Avengers, and even chicken Alfredo. The dad who took my sisters and I on countless museum and zoo visits and never gave up on teaching me how to appreciate a good book. It breaks my heart that you cannot physically be with us today, but I know you are up there beaming with pride and shouting slightly embarrassing nicknames to show how much love you have for your twinnies. Now to my angel on earth, my mom. I'm glad that you were able to read my mind, since I would never be able to put into words how grateful I am to be your daughter. You are and will always be my rock and my safe haven, even when I will be 7 hours away. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the beautiful person you are and for everything you do for your family. And of course, I have to thank you for the brain that got me to this moment. Now, as we transition into the next chapter of our lives, I would like to share a quote with you that I hope we will all keep in our minds for the future. While explaining how he learned to redefine success for himself, one of my favorite artists said, "If you're happy doing what you're doing, then nobody can tell you you're not successful." Of course, this may be easier to say coming from a multi-millionaire, but I truly believe it is something that anyone could benefit from hearing. Specifically for our generation, there seems to be a fabricated image of success that has been forced into our minds by past generations. This may include graduating high school, then graduating college, and then finding a safe job to support a family. However, this is clearly not the correct path for everyone. As individuals, we all have our own unique potential to unlock, which requires different experiences and adventures. For myself, my future is currently a gray area full of unknowns, which I'm sure many of you can relate to. Even though I'm incredibly excited to start college in the fall and hopefully be exposed to new opportunities and possibilities, I would be lying if I told you that there is not still a part of me that is afraid to leave the safety of home. There is a piece of me that is fearful that I will not fit into this mold, or that I will not achieve the dictionary definition of success. However, the quote I have shared with you today has greatly altered my own perspective. My aspirations are now focused on finding something that I am passionate about and that brings me genuine joy, regardless of if others deem my interpretation of success as valid. I am here to tell you that we are all valid and worthy of finding our happiest version of ourselves, and to achieve that, we need to be open and vulnerable to all sides of life. I urge you all to keep these words in mind as you walk away from Smyrna High School. I challenge you to always be open to new and different people and experiences, and to never take any part of life for granted, because before we know it, we'll be closing the page on our next chapter. Congratulations and good luck to the class of 2021. Thank you.
Hello, we are the advisors for the class of 2021, Mrs. Hankins, Ms. Pritt, and Ms. Jenkins. We welcome you today to join us in the virtual celebration of the class of 2021's graduation. We first would like to congratulate all of the members of the class for successfully reaching this milestone. When leaving school on Friday, March 13th, 2020, for what was supposed to be a 2-week deep clean period, we never imagined that we would never have the opportunity to return to what was once normal. Although the last year and a half was nothing like you may have expected, your adversity and ability to adapt have proven you are ready for what lies ahead of you. As once stated by Art Linkletter, things turn out best for people who make the best out of the way things turn out. We encourage each of you as you leave Smyrna High to continue to make the best out of every situation. While we were not the advisors for your freshman year, when the opportunity arose to join this class your sophomore year, we couldn't say no. With so many familiar faces that we have known since 7th and 8th grade, the transition was seamless. With no time to spare, we jumped right into homecoming festivities, where we were not only building a float, but also hosting the homecoming dance. Within this short period of time, we learned that we had a great group of students who were eager to make the most of their last 3 years at Smyrna High. From your school spirit you showed in pep rallies and your dedication to float building, we were making memories. With only building 2 floats together, we were fortunate to have a second and first place finish. As your advisors, we have enjoyed supporting you in every way possible. From writing letters of recommendation and sharing in the excitement as you make your future plans, being the fans in the stands cheering you on at different athletic events, and watching your performances in various school activities, supporting you in your efforts of community service activities, and just being a shoulder to lean on when illness and tragedy have impacted your class. Today, as you leave the comfort of the nest you have come to know over the past 4 years, we want you to know that you will forever have the love and support of your advisors and staff here at Smyrna High in all that you do. Once an eagle, always an eagle.
In the words of Ed Koch, the fireworks begin today. Each diploma is a lighted match. Each of you is a fuse. Enjoy this time and celebrate your accomplishments. You have made many great memories and still have so many more adventures to experience. You're now entering the next chapter of your life. For some, it may be continuing your education. For others, it may be the military, while others will enter the workforce. No matter what you choose, you control your destiny. Your future is not carved in stone, and there will be many forks in the road. It's okay to make mistakes. That's the best way to learn. George W. Bush once said, "To those of you who received honors, awards, and distinctions, I say well done. And to the C students, I say you too may one day be President of the United States." We agree. You are not defined by your grades or the materials you own, but your work ethics and integrity. Be good, be kind. People will like you more, and more importantly, you will like yourself more, and thus be happier for it. I believe the world is a good place, and most people are good. Sometimes we just need to look past the surface. It is not your sole responsibility to change the entire world, but it is your responsibility to be part of the process. As you well know, change is inevitable. Don't be afraid of it. Study it, make adjustments, then conquer it. Celebrate today your graduation from Smyrna High School. You deserve it. We will miss you and will be here if you need us, but it is time for you to spread your eagle wings and soar into the big blue sky and see what awaits you next.
Although our time is coming to an end, we want to thank those who have supported us over the past few years. First, we would like to thank the class of 2021, for accepting us as your advisors with open arms your sophomore year. Thank you to the class officers and representatives for being a voice for your class. Thank you to the Dixons for providing us with our home away from home each year during float season. Thank you to all the parents, too numerous to mention by individual names, for your support and help at floats and all other activities. Please know that your dedication and support for your child and class has not gone unnoticed. Thank you to Ms. Caro and the office staff for filling in for us during the school days when we were not able to be there. Thank you to the administrators for your support throughout the years. To Ms. Cook, on behalf of the class of 2021, we want to thank you for your dedication, flexibility, and unwavering support in the last few months planning traditional senior events for the students. To the class of 2021, congratulations on all that you have accomplished, and best of luck as you leave Smyrna High. We leave you with the words of Mark Twain: 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sail, explore, dream, discover.
My name is S.A. Pearson, class of 2021 Vice President.
My name is Jason, class of 2021 class secretary.
First and foremost, it is an honor to have the opportunity to welcome the alumni, family members, and staff of Smyrna High School here today. Many say that today is the beginning of our journey. However, our journey began a long time ago. Today just happens to be the day that the road we've been traveling together splits off into 400 plus directions. All of us are now headed into the next chapter of our lives. We are courageously pursuing the education and the careers that impassion us.
Our high school career has given us opportunities to learn and grow as individuals, making it possible to begin this next chapter in our lives. You never know what experience will shape, inspire, or affect you. People can grow through life events if they meet life honestly and courageously. This is how character is built.
Right out of the gate, our first opportunity to get involved in school activities would be with the upcoming annual homecoming events. We've all seen the floats, but few of us could appreciate all that went into making them. From blueprints to the cereal bowl, freshman year was truly a learning experience. When we came back as sophomores with a better understanding of the process, 2 weeks of endless folding, fluffing, gluing, and trimming, from constructing the float to staying up the final night and then going to school the following morning. We persevered as a team.
As juniors, we put in the time and effort, paying off with a first place finish. For a certainty, our spot in number 1 would have been reclaimed had we possessed the opportunity to have float again this year. Fun times are unfortunately always short-lived.
The entire Smyrna community has always possessed a strong passion for athletics. Our varsity players represented the Eagle Nation by bringing home several championships in multiple sports over the last 4 years. Supporters at the sporting events, sitting in the stands or watching at home, would certainly not go unappreciated by our players.
We must cherish our memories together and retain the things we have learned outside of just academics. From mustering enough courage to do a solo presentation in front of the entire class to cutting down the amount of time in physical education, we have all grown as people. The excitement of playing for our school makes us proud.
My own personal memory from driver's ed was when we were using the car and it broke down right in front of the school. Then Zach and I had to get out and push it back into the parking lot.
For me, it would be almost burning down the chemistry lab in Dr. Hall's class when there was a substitute. Don't ask questions you don't want answers.
Maybe athletics wasn't your thing, but you represented our school while participating in other ways, through clubs and hobbies. Organizations that supported our school population and worked to make our school Smyrna strong. Here are some of our favorite memories from fellow classmates while participating in their after-school activities.
J.D. Carlton, representing the JROTC, stated, "I'd say my favorite memory is winning 3rd place overall at the state drill competition, sophomore year with my best friends, and just the overall experience will last with me forever. They shape us into better people, and I'll forever remember the lasting impact and how they've made me into a better man."
Nick Shane, recognizing the FFA Association gives us a personal memory, says that his best memory was going to national convention and meeting new people from every state while being able to learn more about what they do in their home states, as in if they own farms, and how they tend to their livestock, and being able to keep in touch with them and become friends.
A member of the Random Acts of Kindness Club said their favorite part was We were able to surprise the custodians with clean supply closet, posters, and treats. We left encouraging messages throughout the school for midterms and finals. Did numerous small things for different staff members of high school.
On the other hand, regardless if it was to celebrate or to mourn, our community was and is always there to support this school and its students. We have lost classmates along the way, but they will always be remembered. The graduation for class of 2021 would certainly feel incomplete without mentioning their names. Hayden McCutcheon, Chris Moore, and Bradley Pratz.
At the end of the day, we are still family. We will never forget our roots, where we came from. Go into the world and do well. But more importantly, go into the world and be virtuous. Be bold, be courageous, be your best. We would like to thank our teachers, administration, and families for all the support they've provided us during our time here at Smyrna High School.
Wise words of Albert Einstein: education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school.
Hello, class of 2021. It is no secret that this year has been one that no one could have predicted. I remember believing that the world would be back to normal this time last year. As I saw some of our friends from the class of 2020 miss out on the end of their senior year, I thought they would be the last class to give you virtual speeches, but here we are. The pandemic has reshaped our senior year into an unrecognizable image of the one we imagined. However, its uniqueness is undoubtedly what has made it so special. From the start of the year, we were thrown into finishing college applications, having to apply to schools that most of us had never even set foot on the campuses of. From virtual college visits to countless Zoom classes, we were all faced with the challenge of actively building new relationships with our peers and teachers through a computer screen, which I know can be extremely difficult. I want to take a moment to highlight the hard work of all of our staff, advisors, and administrators who put their hearts into making this year the best it could be for our class and all of the students at Smyrna High School. Your unmatched commitment and devotion to your students is what kept most of us motivated to finish our last year. We understand that you were as unfamiliar with this year's structure as we all were, but we will forever be thankful that you never gave up on any of us.
To our classmates, I know that this year has been full of unprecedented challenges and adversity, but through all of your hard work, you have made it to this monumental day, and have certainly made numerous people proud along the way. If there's one thing that I have learned throughout this past year, it is to cherish the relationships and connections that I have formed with others, and to always be kind to any other person. As the world is starting to look a little bit more normal, I urge you all to continue to show the kindness and support that has helped us all push through this challenging time. As I reflect on the events of this past year, I do not see a year that was stolen from us. Instead, I see a year that offered us many lessons on adaptability, compassion, and hard work. I see a world of unleashed potential for all of my fellow graduates. And as the clouds start to clear, I see a bright future for each and every one of you. Thank you.
We as students have coveted for altruistic figures to be the pioneers of societal breakthroughs. We look to others to evoke change in our communities, but the time will come for us to do the same. The hardships we as a class have faced are second to none. With losing multiple peers and having an abridged version of our senior year, adversity has been an appendage to our 4 years. And while our time at Smyrna High is soon to end, we must focus our attention on the imprints we leave on our school and on our community. Coining the term Smyrna Strong and cultivating a stronger sense of community speaks to the ability of our class and promise we hold for the future. Class of 2021, we are the future. We are the people younger generations will look to bring about change. So as we look back on our years in high school, I ask that you ponder on everything that went right. The fact that we sit here today means that you made it through 100% of your worst days. So as we look to the future and we each embark on our own journeys, remember your days as a Smyrna Eagle, but more importantly, remember the impact we each have left on those around us.
Standing here, giving this speech, I find myself feeling very nostalgic. It seems like just the other day, we were all entering the school, which at the time seemed gigantic and treacherous. In the past 4 years, we have made it ours. No matter who you are, what you're involved in, or how much you've enjoyed coming to school, there will always be a place for you at Smyrna High. We have left our mark here, where it will remain forever. Now, we venture out into the real world after high school. I know for me, I have that same nervous feeling I had on my first day of freshman year. Those same anxieties about the unknown and the what-ifs. New beginnings are daunting. However, you cannot have spectacular outcomes without scary beginnings. And whether you believe it or not, this graduation is a spectacular outcome. It is now our turn to make our mark on the world, just as we did in high school. To my peers, I will miss you all, and I am so grateful for the time we have shared together. I'm so excited to see where life takes us. I would like to leave you with this quote from Bernard Baruch. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Wherever you decide to go after we all depart, I hope you do so being unapologetically you. You only live once. Make the most out of it. Goodbye, Smyrna High.
If you asked Siri right now how long 4 years is, she would simply say 1,460 days. Now imagine I gave you a timer with 1,460 days on it, and it started the moment you walked through the front doors of Smyrna High. Think back to your freshman year. For me, it feels like it was so long ago. I can remember being a scared little freshman who had no idea what I had just gotten into. As I started to walk the halls, days quickly became weeks, which quickly became months, and as soon as it had started, it ended. The class of 2021 has experienced things that we never asked for, the good and the bad. I will spare you the events that struck this community because there is a very good chance that you remember it and we are kind of trying to get out of here. The things that have occurred in these walls are some of the best memories that I have. Experiencing homecoming at Smyrna High was such an amazing experience year after year. From Friday night football games to lunch table conversations, each moment was so precious and I had no idea. I will be the first to admit that I let them come and go and never thought about how much I will miss it all. It is all part of the things that happen in high school. You never knew what was going to happen when we stepped through the doors each day. But then the day that we will never forget came, and it changed everything. March 13th. What a day that was. We were told that we would see everyone in 2 weeks, and here we are at graduation. Saying that we have not had a normal senior year is the understatement of this century. We had the great parts of our high school experience lined up and in our sights, and out of nowhere came the fog that would quickly refocus our visions. This fog was like no other because it didn't bring us a 2-hour delay, but it brought us 2 years of high school that would be completely different. We have had to adapt to the best of our abilities as people who had never experienced a worldwide pandemic. We were able to figure it out and mark off another challenge that we have faced as a success. I could go on for a long time about all of the things that were affected by the pandemic, but that will take way too long and we have a football field to walk across. High school has allowed me to have so many opportunities that I would have never had without it. It is a blessing and a curse. The feeling of comfort that high school has given me is quickly fading away, but that is okay. It is time for a new chapter in my life. I will be able to reset my timer. I will now have another 1,460 days to start my new chapter and fill it with so many new memories. Interpret 1,460 days however you will, but remember this. 1,460 days ago, we did not know what we'd gotten ourselves into, but I'm here with you on the final pages of this particular chapter, and I will tell you this much. Do not waste your next 1,460 days. Make sure you fill them with some pretty awesome things and some pretty awesome people. We never listened when they told us high school goes by so fast, but here we are as graduates, probably telling everyone else the exact same thing. We did not end the way that maybe we had all hoped for, but I would not have wanted to end my high school career with any other 400 people. It has been a crazy adventure, and I will forever be grateful for the people that I met along the way and all the lessons that high school has taught me. If you ask Siri how long 4 years is, she would give you the answer. So class of 2021, I stand here in front of you today with the final question. Are you ready for the next 1,460 days of your life?
Hello everyone. I want to begin by thanking the people who have supported me and guided me to where I am today. First, I want to show my immense gratitude for my family. To my extraordinary mom, who is one of the most selfless people I know, thank you for doing everything in your power to give me the opportunity to be successful and the freedom to follow whatever path I choose in life. To my beloved dad, thank you for always being my #1 fan and for believing I can do absolutely anything. I miss you so much, and I wish you could be here to see Rachel and I graduate, but I know that you'd be overwhelmingly proud of us. To my siblings, thank you for being my best friends in the world and never failing to put a smile on my face. I'd also like to recognize my teachers, advisors, coaches, administrators, and other Smyrna School District staff members who have greatly influenced the last 4 years of my life and who have also worked tirelessly to make this graduation as well as this school year proceed as smoothly as possible. It was in my freshman English class that I was first asked to define empathy. Although freshman year is a bit of a blur to me at times, after these past few years that, up until the last few months or so, seem to last forever, just ask Ms. Hampton, whose first words to me this year were, "You haven't graduated yet?" I still remember contemplating how I could sum up such a powerful word with one simple sentence. However, 2 years later, I found myself in a situation where empathy finally seemed to come easily to everyone. Despite everything that makes us different, we were all experiencing the same hardship. As a result, we understood the struggles that the people around us were facing daily. But as our lives begin to shift into a post-COVID new normal, people will still be suffering. Strangers, acquaintances, and friends will still be experiencing financial difficulties and poverty, fighting internal battles, and losing loved ones. That is why I urge you to not leave your newfound empathy stuffed in a drawer with a mask that you hope to never have to wear again. Now is not the time to stop caring about those around you. Additionally, it is not the time to stop being kind to yourself. For me, despite the sometimes overwhelming perils of the pandemic, I did a lot of productive self-reflection. I learned that our brains project self-doubt by leading us down a never-ending path of comparing ourselves to others, our successes as well as our perceived failures. When we see people in the position we hope to be one day, whether that is attending top universities, working a top-paying profession, or building a perfect family, a lot of us, myself included, have been stuck with the mindset of, that could never be me. But the reality is that there is no reason that we should be putting these people on a pedestal that we imagine is out of our reach. This is because there is so little that makes us different from them in a way that would make us less capable of accomplishing our goals. All of the people who are living the lives you may dream of were once right where you are now and had to take a step towards the right direction. I never thought that I would be the type of person to become valedictorian or to attend my dream school, but I'm blessed to be able to say that I made those happen. This is because there is no one type of person that can accomplish amazing feats. There is no one-size-fits-all approach or step-by-step instruction manual to life and success, in whatever way you quantify it. We are all 100% capable of becoming the people we aspire to be. I know that when we stepped into Smyrna High School for the first time and were told that we were the class of 2021, it felt so far away. And I know that the tumultuous beginning of this year was not what we had imagined as our last few months in school, but I want to remind you, and honestly myself, that we still have so much time to turn this school year around. 210 days to be exact. This is of course subject to change depending on what day you're watching this, but either way, it's a lot. I hope that we can let this day of celebration and rejoice be a turning point for 2021. No matter what your next step in life is going to be, in the next few months, most of us will experience a time of transition and adjustment like no other we've traversed through before. Although this may be daunting, and I know for me, moving 13 hours away from everyone and everything I've ever known definitely is, I implore you to take advantage of the immense opportunities for change and growth that will undoubtedly come your way. You can be whoever you want to be, as the possibilities are truly endless. But all of this opportunity and potential may be missed if we do not believe in ourselves. It is finally time to leave behind the idea that I can't or I won't and start to believe that I will. With all of that being said, I would like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. There is no passion to be found in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. So go out there, live your dreams to their fullest extent, lean on those who love you, and find what brings you true happiness. Thank you, and I wish all of my fellow class of 2021 graduates the absolute best in wherever life takes you.
Gone to high school for the past 4 years. Now this is the last day that your peers will be your peers. You've shared a lot of memories and you've learned a lot of things. But now it's time to take the next step and see what the future brings. I know you'll succeed. You just need to put in the effort. You've gotta try and try and try. I know you will succeed. You just need to put in the hard work. You've gotta flap your wings before you can fly. Promise me you'll always be like an eagle. You keep on trying until you reach the sky. You've had a ton of fun at Smyrna High, but now it's time to take the next step and say goodbye. Some will be preachers, some will be teachers, maybe even work for the news. But just know that whatever path you choose, I know you will succeed. You just need to put in the effort. You've gotta try and try and try. I know you will succeed. You just need to put in the hard work. You've gotta flap your wings before you can fly. Promise me you'll always be like an eagle. You keep on trying until you reach the sky. Yeah, you keep on trying until you reach the sky. You keep on trying until you reach the sky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you trust him, I know that you will fly.
We've been dreaming big things, though we might be barely getting by. But we pulled ourselves together and remembered our pride. Friends and family both were on your side. Now it's time to let us go, time to let us fly. Friday football, colors red and white. 'Cause we're smart and strong and we fight and we fight and we fight. We stand together and lend a hand. 'Cause we're smart and strong and now or later forever till the end. So we're 4 years old and now we're doing better things. We're all here cap and gown, all the smile it brings. Oh, there's been a lot
Smyrna High School, class of 2021. What an adventure we have had during your time at SHS. You have certainly finished strong, as evidenced by these facts. 4% of you have committed to serving our country in a branch of the military. 7% of you have committed to completing an apprenticeship or trade program. 10% of you have plans in place already to begin your careers. And 71% of you have committed to continuing your education in the college setting. Additionally, your hard work has literally paid off because you have earned approximately $1,066,000 in scholarship money, and $63,000 of that is from our local community groups. And to them, we send a sincere thank you. As you prepare to graduate, I know that many will focus on the past 14 months and the challenges that has brought you. I encourage you to think about more than that. The years prior to March of 2020 are just as important to the person that you are today. Think about the person that you were when you started elementary school, and then the first day of middle school, and finally, the first day of high school. Think about the lessons you have learned, both in school and outside of school. Think about the challenges you faced and overcome, no matter how big or small they seem now. What I hope is that each of you realizes that you are gifted, powerful, influential, and important. What I also want you to do is look forward. Compare who you are today with who you desire to be in 1 year, 5 years, 20 years. Set goals for yourself daily if you need to keep moving forward and accomplish whatever brings you peace and happiness. Cherish each moment along the way as a lesson and a blessing on your path to becoming the best you possible. Finally, on the path forward, always remember to be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We all have the power to be kind, and if used to its fullest extent, this alone can help change your world and the world around you. Seniors, I am extremely proud of each of you. I feel blessed to have been able to be part of your lives. Thank you.